we get the tarp over the back, Mark, over this side.
Yeah.
And go that way. And just peg it out. Fine.
Okay. Okay, guys. Obviously, we're kind of restricted by space, but this is the beginnings of the baker tent construction, where you split both ponchos in half.
You would have it perhaps further back than this,
Yeah.
depending on how wide your tarp's going to be. Now ours is a 3 metre by 3 metre tarp, and you wouldn't have or need this to be 3 metres wide, but again it's entirely up to you to judge how much space you're going to need.
Yeah, we're kind of stuck.
We are restricted.
So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie, because we haven't got like a ridge pole as such, I'm going to use some cordage to just pull those two together a bit tighter, like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put some cordage around the tops of those so they're not pulling backwards. I'm just going to use the Canadian jam, always useful. Now we've showcased that in another video. Well, it doesn't need to be over tight, but just a bit of tension on it just to kind of pull it. That's it, and then when we've done that we can reposition these. Yeah, you see how that now all pulls nice and tight and gives you more space, yeah?
let's pull those edges up tighter so they're not slack
If I
at the
let
bottom.
it go, you see how slack they go?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the trucker's hitch, so Canadian jam up that end, trucker's hitch this end. Then I can get some tension on that. Always the fiddly bit. Right. Okay. So that's just giving it a bit of tension, just pulled those backs a little bit tighter. It's not overly tight, but I didn't want to put too much strain on it or pull pegs out. But yeah, that's pretty much how that's going to work.
But yeah, one of the main reasons why you would probably set up a baker tent or a Lavvu in this configuration is if there's a lot of you, or somebody hasn't got a shelter, or somebody's ruined the shelter, and you can fit more people in this. You could, once we've got the tarp over the top, you could probably fit, I'd say, 5 people in it. Would you say that, Dad?
Yeah.
Probably about 5 people, maybe. Probably more, to be honest. Or just 2 people, 1 per half, you know, and then have your gear in the middle, so you've got plenty of space. Up to you guys, really. But yeah, it's not taking us long to set this up. A bit of fiddling around, but I'd roughly say about 10 minutes.
Right. Now we've got our DD 3 metre by 3 metre tarp. That should be the central line.
Popped out again.
It's these crap templates. Don't cheap out on tempegs, seriously. Take it to the central line, and then I can then put what's it on? Yeah,
Plastics, yeah.
Okay. But that doesn't go all the way down the back. Just a second.
This
Right,
is a
so
smaller
go-
tarp than the one we used last time, don't forget.
Yeah, go to this next loop up. That's it. We'll have to go out, so you need protection at the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Try and press it. I'm just going to quickly make some press-it loops. It'll take me a minute. I'll probably take a bit longer than that since I've got nothing to cut them with, but hang on a sec. Not very organised today. We'll get there.
What you would do while you're out is if you want like a little porch area, probably tie this out straight. Obviously, if you've got a bigger tarp than us, you could still have the back coverage and have a bigger porch at the front. But we're using a 3x3 tarp.
3x3 tarp.
Yeah, it's just a 3x3 DD tarp, so it's not overly massive.
Right, I need some sort of glue. So careful. Always remember when you've done a ridge line, you make it out of bright material. The one I've got for my hammock is bright red, so you can see it. When it's black, you tend to forget that it's there. And you tend to go up the sound.
Yeah, I always do. Just go through it.
Okay. I've never had some pain. Really. Half critical. Fine, and what we've done is we've done a couple of press-it loops, which are basically when you pull on them, you probably can't see them because it's dark, but you pull, put any tension on, it grips to the thicker line. Then when you take the tension off, you can move the actual thing up and down the line to position it where you want it. Really, really, really useful, especially when you're hanging tarps like this.
Yeah, it's going a bit grainy because we're losing the light, but
Yeah, I'm trying to get a shift on stick.
see how that's nice and tight now, guys.
I'm putting tension on this, not on this end, and pulling, and then it stays nice and tight. And then what you do is you peg out your back edges. flush to the back. I'm just flush to the back, it's fine. Okay. And then just grab us a bit of cordage, not the red, just a piece of black or something like that. There we go.
Let's give you a bit of a close up.
We'll zoom in on this. This might be one that we haven't showcased before. Right, when you want to tie two pieces of cordage together, so we've got the green there on my left, the black on my right, kind of hold them parallel to each other like that with a bit of overlap, okay? And then all you're doing is just going to do an overhand knot like you would do with your shoelaces in the black around the green like that, okay? And then you do the same with the green around the black. It's cold, my lips are going numb, I can't feel.
Yeah.
Right, so once you've kind of got that, you pull it tight, pulls down on each other, and you then connected two different lengths together. Okay? Just going to use this just to pull that up tight.
Uh-huh. Just go and grab some artificial light.
Are we struggling for light here?
Yeah, it's going all grainy. Okay, guys.
Hey, really?
As you can see now, it's gone a bit wonky, but oh well.
No, it's good work, it's fine. Good.
But then you've got full back coverage. Obviously, like I said, if you want to use a bigger tarp, then you can. But I don't see the need. But
well, the need would be really to just so that you can, when you drop this front down at night, you can totally cover it up. It's probably about ½ a metre short. So maybe if you had a 3 metre by 4 metre tarp, and you'd have it kind of going the lengthways that way, it would then fully cover. We used to have a 4 metre by 4.5, it was huge, that covered, but unfortunately it got melted and ruined, so we had to replace with the 3 metre by 3 metre. We do have 2 of these, and you can press stud them together, so you could perhaps do that and have a really big awning, but you really don't want that sticking out 3 metres. That'd just be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, that works fine. And you just tie off to trees, tie off your corners to your trees just to lift that front up. And as you can see, you've got your ends are then protected on both sides. The back's protected, and you've also given yourself and your friends much more space. So from the 2 Lavvus being together, and you only having, say, 8 foot by 8 foot sort of floor space, there you've now opened up the floor space for you to be able to, I don't know, sit on stumps, sit on a raised bed maybe. You know, you can put a raised bed at the back, or you could have perhaps 1 guy on that side, 1 guy on this side, 1 guy lay at the back, all your gear and a stove maybe at the front. 3 of you, maybe 4 of you, have got ample room in there, ample room. And again, you can spread the 2 sides or the 2 ends out much wider depending on how big your tarp is.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And that is what we kind of call an adjustable baker tent. There is a standard baker tent that you can buy that is all connected, all as a tent, and looks just like that without the extra bits on the end. So it's just basically a designated width sewn in all the way up, and has like the flap at the front that isn't sewn on where the doors are.
Yeah.
And that's just a solid baker tent. Whereas this is an adjustable baker tent version, so you can make it smaller or as big as you want. We will do this in the woods one day when we can actually get out.
When we can try and get out. But we're trying to have to make do just in the garden right now, so I know it's not perfect, but it'll have to do.
So yeah, you just pop up your 2 halves a certain distance apart, however far apart you want them, you know, 6 feet apart, 8 feet apart, as long as it's no sort of wider than your total tarp width that's going to cover. And then you have your ridge line that's supposed to go really more in line with the peaks of the 2 halves. You can have it forward from that a little bit, just like we have, doesn't matter. And then, like we've done, bang your tarp down over the top, tie off, and you've got a nice awning, and you can then sit at the front.
Yeah, you just show like size perspective wise how big it is compared to you, because it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but there you go guys.
So I'm just kind of sat in the doorway, back and back up. And I can go right into the back. I've got plenty of space. So somebody could definitely lay here and be certain that they're not going to get rained on. Guys on either side, gear perhaps in the middle maybe, stove, 2 guys, stove, loads of gear. Again, like I say, you can just push it back further and just give yourself so it's more oblong, whatever suits. But yeah, this just maximises your space, and like I say, you can go bigger than this, or you can just bring them both together, and like we did before, take the back tarp off, connect them both together, and just have a little small snug area. But you know, if you need the space in the middle, maybe you've got a dog, extra room for the dog. But it's certainly worth thinking about if you've got a Polish Lavvu, 2 halves, and you've got a tarp. Say if there's 2 of you going out, share the gear between you, give it a go. Cheers guys, and oh, before I forget, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also comment as well, you know, we do comment back. And in the description you'll find a link to our Patreon. You can pop over to there, have a look, see what you think, subscribe on there. I think the minimum one's about £8 a month. That'll get you sort of access to sort of early stuff, extra ideas, tricks, tips, hints, things before we upload stuff on YouTube. You'll get priority through there, and we can also comment, chat. We may even do some lives, fingers crossed. So yeah, have a look guys, see what you think. Thanks very much, cheers till next time. So thanks from me, and
So thanks from me.
cheers, thanks for watching.
See you later guys.